Yo, what's going on, y'all? Y'all know what time it is. It's a Saturday and I'm off, so drop some content for y'all. So you already know what to do. Roll up your bleezies, get you something nice to sip on, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And before we even start with, you know what I'm saying, hit the like button, subscribe, and after the show, drop a comment. You know what I'm saying? Push me in the algorithm. You already know what you know how this going. So look, without further ado, we in this thing.
With the girl on my side, I love her like Pop-Tarts. I was missing my baby now. My mama, my sister, my brothers, and 80 now. They sweeter than nine ladies. The shit I be serving, it look like some toilet paper.
December 12th, 2022. Arlington, Texas. A security camera captures the final moments of 30-year-old Tyrone Darling's life in the parking lot of Lisa's Chicken Restaurant. What should have been a routine custody exchange became the site of his murder, at the hands of not just his ex-girlfriend, but also her new female partner. This isn't just another story of domestic violence. This is a case where past love transformed into deadly resentment, where custody battles evolved into murder plots, and where two women joined forces to permanently remove a father from his child's life. Tyrone Darling was a man with modest dreams and everyday struggles. At 30, he worked as a security guard in Arlington, Texas, a job that provided stability while he pursued his true passion. During his free hours, Tyrone transformed into an aspiring rapper, pouring his experiences and hopes into lyrics that spoke of a better tomorrow. Friends described him as determined, hardworking, and committed to creating a future where both he and his child could thrive. Those who knew Tyrone noted his dedication to fatherhood. Despite the breakdown of his relationship with Tamaya Williams, the mother of his child, he fought to maintain an active presence in his child's life. He worked extra shifts when necessary, adjusted his music recording schedule, and made countless compromises to fulfill his responsibilities as a father. He was the type who'd give up a recording session in a heartbeat if his kid needed him, said one friend who asked to remain anonymous. Fatherhood wasn't something he took lightly. It was everything to him. Tyrone met Tamaya Williams in 2018.
Alright. So this how we gonna start this off here. First of all, in my opinion, just off of what you heard in the beginning, bro a good dude. You know what I'm saying? He a good dude. He's striving for what he want, and he want to be in this child life. His baby mother, on the other hand, they don't, and them little first couple of them, they don't really sit there and express the characteristics of this young woman. But one thing I can say is this: where he fucked up at, first of all, your first baby mother, if you're gonna have multiple baby mothers, your first baby mother not supposed to be cute, dog. Anybody that their first baby mother is cute, 9 times out of 10, that baby mother is a fucking psychopath. So, write in the comments if I'm lying. Most men, especially black men, if their first baby mother is cute, she is a psychopath. And if you are not willing to be with her and deal with her psychopath tendencies, she's going to go above and beyond and make your life a living hell. Just my honest opinion. Back to the story.
The relationship progressed quickly, and within a year, they welcomed a child. Initially, the couple appeared to navigate the challenges of new parenthood together, with Tyrone balancing his security job, music aspirations, and family responsibilities. But beneath the surface, tensions grew. Friends observed arguments becoming more frequent. By 2021, the relationship had fractured beyond repair, with disagreements about parenting styles, financial responsibilities, and Tyrone's music career creating insurmountable barriers. When they separated, the battle for custody began. Court records reveal multiple filings as both parents sought favorable arrangements. What emerged was a fragile compromise, a shared custody agreement that satisfied neither party. For Tyrone, the arrangement meant limited time with his child, while Tamia expressed frustration about schedule disruptions and what she perceived as Tyrone's inconsistent parenting. The custody exchanges became flashpoints. Witnesses to previous exchanges described visible tension, harsh words exchanged, and at least 2 incidents where police were called to intervene, though no arrests were made. These moments, these handoffs from one parent to another, grew increasingly hostile. The situation intensified when Tamia Williams began a relationship with 23-year-old Chanel Sherrod in early 2022.
See, what I tell you. So, y'all been together less than a year, you pregnant. Alright, year come around, y'all had a baby. Now, all of a sudden, his rap career is a problem. He not there all the time because he always at work and he always in the studio. Like, once her demands wasn't met, it's over. Now they arguing more. Okay, time to break up. Boom. Now, what I'm confused is this. I heard the YNs. I heard the YWs. But now y'all got YSs? Like, dog. This young stud, yo, first of all, the young girl looked like a man. First of all, let's get that clear. Second of all, what? This is crazy, bro.
Court records show that within months of this new relationship, Tamia filed for modifications to the custody arrangement, seeking to reduce Tyrone's access to their child. Text messages recovered from Tyrone's phone revealed his growing anxiety. In one message to a family member 3 weeks before his death, he wrote, "Every exchange is worse than the last." Now her girlfriend shows up too, watching me, making comments. "I'm just trying to see my kid." What Tyrone couldn't have known was how dangerous.
So you mean to tell me 2-3 months after you just met this YS, she done got into your head to where you going to the court to switch up you and your baby daddy custody agreements, or trying to switch up you and your baby daddy custody agreements, and now you got her with you while you dropping off your child, and she sitting there in the driver's seat or in the passenger seat sitting there making comments and all that. Like, yo, so you making it extra hard for the man to sit there and just be there for his child. Terrible.
This next chapter would become. The custody arrangement that was meant to provide structure instead created a predictable pattern, one that would ultimately lead to a fatal ambush in a restaurant parking lot. As December 2022 approached, the exchanges had become so contentious that Tyrone had asked a friend to accompany him. That friend had a scheduling conflict on December 12th. Tyrone went alone. It would be the last decision he ever made. Now let's continue with how a new relationship dramatically altered the power dynamics between these 3 individuals. Early 2022 marked a significant shift in the already fragile custody arrangement between Tyrone Darling and Tamia Williams. This change wasn't due to court orders or legal modifications. It was the entrance of 23-year-old Chanel Sherrod into Tamia's life. Tamia, then 29, met Sherrod through mutual friends at a local music venue. Ironically, the same type of venue where Tyrone often performed his rap sets. According to those close to Tamia, the connection with Sherrod was immediate and intense. Within weeks, the relationship had progressed rapidly, with Sherrod spending substantial time at Tamia's home. The same home where Tamia's child with Tyrone spent half their time.
So, You so hurt and mad over your baby daddy, you go find you a YS that look just like a man, and within weeks, she living at your crib. She sitting there talking you into doing all types of foul shit to your baby pops. I mean, your baby dad. Like, that's sad. Like, how easily you can be provoked and manipulated, but at the same time, there probably ain't even manipulation, because you probably been feeling like that, and you found somebody that can entertain your thoughts. So now, I bet, yeah. Now project Let's Make His Life a Living Hell is in full effect. This shit is crazy.
Former coworkers of Tamiya described noticeable changes in her demeanor after beginning the relationship with Sherrod. She became more confrontational about everything, especially anything related to Tyrone, said a former colleague who worked with Tamiya at a local retail store. It was like having someone new in her corner made her more bold about the custody situation.
Look, what I just say? She met the little YS. YS putting the battery in her back. Now she feeling all bold and brazen to sit there and, nah, since he ain't trying to follow my program, I'ma make his life a living hell. Like, yo, that's crazy. And what the crazy thing about it is, she's not the only female that do that. It's a lot of you females out here that do that for no reason. Like, for no reason at all. Like, that's crazy. You find you another female that's gonna sit there and empower you to sit there and do the stupid shit.
Text messages obtained during the investigation reveal that Sherrod took an active interest in the custody arrangement almost immediately. In messages exchanged between the couple just 2 months into their relationship, Sherrod wrote, "You shouldn't have to deal with him at all. There's ways to get full custody, you know." What began as emotional support and suggestions quickly evolved into direct involvement. By May 2022, Sherrod had begun accompanying Tamiya to custody exchanges, despite Tyrone's objections. While Sherrod initially remained in the vehicle during these exchanges, her presence alone altered the dynamic significantly. A friend of Tyrone's who witnessed several exchanges noted the change. When it was just Tamiya and Tyrone, there was tension, sure. But when Sherrod started showing up, the whole vibe changed. Tamiya would barely look at him, just hand off the kid and relay messages through Sherrod, who'd be watching from the car. It felt intentional, like they were trying to push him out. Phone records show that between March and July 2022, Tamiya made 3 formal complaints to family court, claiming Tyrone was hostile during exchanges. None of these complaints resulted in modified court orders, as evidence was deemed insufficient.
And this is where I think everything went left. Like, you got this, you got your new girlfriend, Lil YS. She in your ear. She making you feel more empowered about the bullshit that you doing with your baby father when it comes to your child. Now you sit there and go, you make 3 formal complaints to the child, to family court. Basically, they're like, man, get out of here, man. Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. Like, nigga, everything is a go with what y'all got going on. We not switching up nothing. That right there, I guarantee you, I bet my bottom dollar that right there was a fuel to the fire. Well, that was the ignition that sat there and just started the fire. So now she probably like, yo, they not gonna sit there and let me get full custody of blase blah, wooty woo. You know what I'm saying? And them two, they probably, who knows if they smoke, they drink, whatever, but they sitting in that car or they sitting in the crib, and this is where the plotting begins. I'm trying to tell you.
However, the pattern of accusations created paper trails that would later be scrutinized by investigators. By August 2022, Sherrod had taken a more active role. Security footage from a gas station where one exchange occurred showed her exiting the vehicle, standing beside Tamiya, and engaging directly with Tyrone. The footage, though without audio, clearly showed animated conversation and confrontational body language.
I got a quick question. And this goes out to studs, females, femmes, all that extra shit. Why do y'all do that? If that man is talking to his baby mother, you obviously see he ain't the one that's yelling, doing all the theatrics. Why you hopping out the car and then you want to get to talking crazy like you wild big Billy badass? Like, in all actuality, if that man would have sat there just decided to put his hands around your neck, what was you gonna do? You sit there, you coming at a man with such fury and ferocity, like, dog, relax. You doing all that, the man decide, all right, I'm feeling disrespected and smack the shit out you. What are you gonna do? There's only a certain few type of that a female that can sit there and handle and go toe to toe with a man with the hands. Sweetheart, I guarantee you not one of them. Like, come on, man. Y'all females got to stop that bullshit.
Those who knew the couple described a troubling progression in their private conversations about Tyrone. A mutual friend who later spoke to investigators reported overhearing discussions about getting him out of the picture permanently as early as September 2022. At the time, the friend dismissed this as venting frustration, not realizing the foreshadowing these words contained. Sherrod's influence extended beyond the custody exchanges themselves. Social media posts recovered from Tamiya's accounts showed a dramatic shift in tone when discussing co-parenting. Earlier posts often expressed frustration but maintained boundaries. After Sherrod's arrival, posts became more antagonistic, with veiled references to eliminating problems and permanent solutions. The couple's dynamic created what psychologists would later describe as a reinforcement chamber, where each woman validated and amplified the other's negative feelings toward Tyrone. Text messages between them referenced him as the obstacle and the problem.
Yeah, y'all call it reinforcement, whatever y'all called it. Nigga, I call it when two psycho bitches get together and they don't have they have nothing but time on their hands. They don't got nothing going on in their life. They got nothing but time on their hands, and all they want to do is make other people miserable. That's all it is. All that reinforcement, man, fuck all that. Them two bitches is crazy as hell, and they sat there, got too much time on their hands, and now look what happens.
Dehumanizing language that experts suggest can precede violence. October and November 2022 saw the most concerning escalation. During an exchange at a public park, witnesses reported seeing Sherrod exit the vehicle and approach Tyrone directly, pointing her finger in his face while Tamiya remained in the car with the child. One witness described hearing Sherrod tell Tyrone, "You won't be in the picture much longer." A week before the fatal encounter, Tyrone filed his own complaint with family court, requesting that exchanges occur only with the biological parents present. The hearing for this request was scheduled for December 14, 2022, 2 days after he was killed.
Now look at this. The man's still trying to be civil. You done hopped out the car. You pointing your fingers in my face. You doing all this extra shit. Dog, you not my baby mother. If I haul off and put hands on, and once again, the Around the Town channel, KD, do not condone domestic violence, but at the same time, this is ridiculous. And what did the man do? He controlled himself. He didn't sit there and get out of character. What he did, he went down to the courts and simply sat there and filed a petition to listen. When I'm going to go pick up my child, I just needed to be me, my child, and my child's mother. All of a company don't need to be there. And look what happened. That court date was supposed to be 2 days what? Before, it was either 2 days before he died or 2 days after he died. I'm not sure. But this is crazy, bro.
Perhaps most telling were the search histories recovered from both women's devices. In the weeks leading up to December 12th, searches included how to get full custody after father is gone, what happens to child support if father dies, and self-defense laws in Texas. The final exchange before the murder occurred on November 28, 2022. Parking lot camera footage from that day showed both women exiting the vehicle during the exchange. While no physical altercation occurred, the body language suggested heightened tensions. Tyrone was seen backing away repeatedly, hands raised in a defensive posture. What nobody realized then was that this pattern of escalation was building toward a devastating conclusion. The relationship between Tamiya and Sherrod had created a dangerous alliance, one that would ultimately cost Tyrone his life during what should have been a routine custody exchange just 2 weeks later. December 12th, 2022. A Monday afternoon in Arlington, Texas. The weather was mild, 58 degrees with scattered clouds, as Tyrone Darling pulled into the parking lot of Lisa's Chicken at 4:37 p.m. Security cameras captured his arrival in his gray 2015 Honda Accord. He parked in the northeast corner of the lot, away from the restaurant's main entrance, a spot he had used for exchanges before because of its visibility from multiple angles. Text messages recovered from Tyrone's phone show he arrived early, messaging a friend at 4:39 p.m. Waiting for the exchange, same spot as always, got here early to make sure everything goes smooth. The exchange was scheduled for 5 p.m. according to their court-ordered custody agreement. Tyrone waited in his vehicle, occasionally checking his phone. At 4:52 p.m., he sent another text. "They just pulled in. Something feels off. Wish you could have come with me today." That instinct, that something was different this time, proved tragically accurate. At 4:51 p.m., security footage shows a black 2020 Toyota Camry entering the parking lot. Tamiya Williams' car with Chanel Sherrod behind the wheel. Rather than parking in their usual spot across the lot, Sherrod pulled the vehicle directly next to Tyrone's car on the driver's side, leaving minimal space between vehicles. The positioning was unusual and significant. Previous exchanges had always maintained distance between vehicles, but this new arrangement forced Tyrone to exit into the narrow space between the cars. Experts would later point to this as the first sign of a premeditated confrontation. At 4:53 p.m., Tyrone exited his vehicle. The camera angle captured him glancing at his phone before putting it in his pocket. Tamiya remained in the passenger seat of the Toyota, while their child was visible in the back seat. For 23 seconds, Tyrone stood beside his car, appearing to wait for Tamiya to exit with the child. At 4:54 p.m., instead of Tamiya, it was Sherrod who exited the driver's side. Security footage shows her immediately moving toward Tyrone, her right hand extended with her index finger pointed at his face. Though no audio was captured, witnesses in the restaurant reported hearing raised voices. A witness who was entering the restaurant at that moment later told police, the shorter woman, Sherrod, was yelling something about respect and how he wouldn't be a problem anymore. The man, Tyrone, had his hands up, like he was trying to calm things down. The footage shows Tyrone backing up, hands raised in a non-threatening posture. Sherrod continued advancing, eventually making physical contact by pushing Tyrone's chest with both hands. Tyrone did not retaliate, but continued backing toward the rear of his vehicle. At 4:55 p.m., the passenger door of the Toyota opened, and Tamiya Williams exited. The child remained in the back seat. Instead of bringing the child for the exchange, Tamiya reached back into the vehicle. Security footage shows her retrieving something from the glove compartment. What happened next occurred in just 47 seconds. Tamiya approached Tyrone, who was still backing away from Sherrod. When Tamiya raised her right hand, the security camera captured the unmistakable outline of a handgun, later identified as a 9mm Ruger LC9s. Witnesses reported hearing Tamiya yell, "You'll never take my baby from me."
Girl, what the fuck you mean? He wasn't trying to take the baby from you. Like, what are you talking about? So so you mean to tell me you with this young girl for a couple of months and she didn't convince you to kill your baby father? To the point where you unalive this, trigger warning, you unalive this man in front of your child? Screaming, "Oh, you not gonna take my baby from me?" When was he gonna take the baby from you? The man was just trying to be in the baby life. How was he trying to take the baby from you? So now this man has sat there, lost his life. You done lost your life. You spending the rest of your life in jail. Your new girlfriend, she's spending the rest of her life in jail. And now your child is without their parents. Because I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. I think it was a girl. That picture did look like it was a girl. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the, like, this shit be, niggas better, yo, use better judgment, yo. Use better judgment. Stop using emotion and start using regular logic. And shout out to true crime case tapes for the good, you know what I'm saying? This good entertainment for us to sit there and do this reaction for. So you already know.
At 4:56 p.m., with Tyrone cornered between the two women and a parked SUV, Tamiya fired twice. The first shot struck Tyrone in the chest. He clutched his torso and fell to one knee. The second shot hit him in the neck as he was falling. 3 witnesses inside the restaurant immediately called 911. Restaurant staff rushed outside as Sherrod and Tamiya returned to their vehicle. The footage shows Sherrod calmly entering the driver's seat, while Tamiya returned to the passenger side. Their child was still in the back seat, having witnessed the entire incident. The Toyota exited the parking lot at 4:57 p.m., just 3 minutes after they had arrived. First responders reached the scene at 5:04 p.m. Despite immediate medical intervention, Tyrone Darling was pronounced dead at 5:23 p.m. in the parking lot where he had simply come to see his child. The entire encounter lasted less than 7 minutes from arrival to departure. A father's life ended during what should have been a routine custody exchange, while his child watched from inside the vehicle. In the chaotic aftermath, as police secured the scene and interviewed witnesses, one detail emerged repeatedly in witness statements: the calm, almost rehearsed way both women acted before, during, and after the shooting. Let's examine how law enforcement tracked down these killers and the evidence that sealed their fate. As Tyrone Darling lay fatally wounded in the parking lot of Lisa's Chicken, Arlington Police Department officers converged on the scene. The first officers arrived at 5:04 p.m., securing the area with yellow crime scene tape, while paramedics attempted life-saving measures. The restaurant's patrons and staff, many still in shock, were kept inside as potential witnesses. Detective Dorothy Bailey, a 12-year veteran of Arlington PD's homicide unit, assumed lead investigator status upon arrival at 5:32 p.m. Her first priority: obtain the security footage that multiple witnesses mentioned had captured the entire incident. "We knew immediately this was going to be a case built on video evidence," Detective Bailey later stated in court documents. Witnesses were consistent in their descriptions, but having the actual footage meant we could see exactly what happened.
They stupid. They stupid. Because first and foremost, rest in peace to that man. You got your life taken away for no reason. But y'all sit there and unalive this man at the restaurant where y'all normally come for him to pick up his child, where there's multiple cameras, where there's multiple people inside the restaurant, and it's four some change in the afternoon. Y'all stupid. Y'all stupid. This is what happens when you think with emotions rather than using regular common sense. This is what happens. That shit is stupid.
Without relying solely on memory or perception. The restaurant manager provided immediate access to the digital video system. 4 cameras covered the parking lot from different angles, offering investigators an unobstructed view of the entire encounter. The high-definition footage provided clear facial identification of both suspects and captured the license plate of the Toyota Camry. While the technical team extracted the video, officers interviewed 17 witnesses, 9 inside the restaurant, 5 in the parking lot, and 3 passing motorists who had stopped after seeing the commotion. Their accounts aligned remarkably well, describing the confrontational approach, the retrieval of the weapon, and the calm manner in which both women departed the scene. One witness, a retired military medic who attempted to help Tyrone before paramedics arrived, provided particularly valuable testimony. The shorter woman was clearly the aggressor initially, forcing him backward. The taller woman seemed to know exactly what she was doing when she went back to the car. It wasn't panic, it was purposeful. They worked together like they had discussed this beforehand. By 6:15 p.m., just over an hour after the shooting, Arlington PD had issued an all-points bulletin for Tamia Williams, Chanel Sherrod, and the black Toyota Camry. The bulletin included the crucial detail that a child was likely still in the vehicle. The vehicle registration led officers directly to Tamia Williams' address, an apartment complex just 3.2 miles from the crime scene. However, initial surveillance showed no sign of the Toyota in the parking lot or immediate vicinity. At 7:42 p.m., a significant break came from an unexpected source. The child's maternal grandmother contacted police after receiving a disturbing call from Tamia. According to the grandmother's statement, Tamia had called asking her to take the child immediately, saying only that something happened with Tyrone and that she needed to go away for a while. The grandmother.
And that's what y'all get. That's exactly what you get. Your own mother, your child's grandmother, sat there inadvertently ratted you out, gave them the information that they needed to sit there and further along their investigation and get your stupid ass off the streets. That's what you get. That's what you get. Stupid. Stupid.
Unaware of what had transpired but concerned by her daughter's tone, agreed to meet at a relative's house 8 miles from the crime scene. She then contacted authorities, providing this new location to investigators. Arlington PD coordinated with the U.S. Marshals North Texas Fugitive Task Force, establishing surveillance at the relative's home at 8:15 p.m. At 8:47 p.m., the black Toyota entered the neighborhood, but drove past the house without stopping. Task force members followed at a distance, requesting backup. When the vehicle parked at a motel on Division Street, officers moved in with tactical precision. Both women were apprehended without incident at 9:02 p.m., less than 5 hours after the murder. The child was not in the vehicle, having been dropped off with the grandmother as planned. A search of the motel room they had just checked into revealed packed bags, $4,700 in cash, and Tamia's passport. Sherrod's laptop showed recent searches for bus routes to Mexico and crossing border without ID. The handgun used in the shooting was recovered from a compartment beneath the Toyota's spare tire. Ballistics tests would later confirm it matched the bullets recovered from Tyrone's body. Gunshot residue tests on both women came back positive. During initial questioning, both women attempted to claim self-defense. Sherrod told detectives, "He came at us aggressively. We were scared for our lives and for the child." This account directly contradicted the video evidence and witness testimonies. When confronted with the security footage showing Tyrone's defensive posture and lack of aggression, both women refused to answer further questions and requested attorneys. The collected evidence painted a clear picture for prosecutors. 1. High-definition video footage showing the entire confrontation. 2. 17 consistent witness statements. 3. Text messages and search histories suggesting premeditation. 4. The recovery of the murder weapon with matching ballistics. 5. Positive gunshot residue tests on both women. 6. Evidence of flight preparation. On December 14, 2022, just 2 days after the murder, both Tamiya Williams and Chanel Sherrod were formally charged with first-degree murder. Additionally, both faced charges of conspiracy to commit murder, endangering the welfare of a child, unlawful use of a weapon, flight to avoid prosecution. The Tarrant County District Attorney announced the decision to try both women as equal participants in the crime, citing the coordinated nature of their actions and clear evidence of prior planning. The preliminary hearing was set for January 2023, with both women held without bail due to the severity of the charges and the demonstrated flight risk. The prosecution declared its intention to seek maximum penalties, citing the premeditated nature of the crime and its execution in the presence of a child. The murder of Tyrone Darling reveals complex psychological elements that extend beyond a momentary loss of control. Forensic psychologists who reviewed the case identified multiple indicators suggesting this was not an impulsive act, but a considered decision by both women.